Have you ever wondered, how you can get a loan on crypto without needing to lock up all your assets? Well, buckle up because what you're about to hear might just change everything you thought you knew about crypto lending. Now, today we're going to be diving into a game-changing announcement from 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧. Now, if you're feeling curious about kind of new ways to kind of borrow money in the crypto world, or just want to see, how blockchain is kind of shaking up traditional finance, well, you're in for a real treat. Now, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧's Director of Product, that's 𝗕𝗲𝗪𝗂𝗂, has kind of just dropped some pretty big news about under-collateralized loans coming to the XRP ledger. And trust me, this isn't your run-of-the-mill financial update. It's actually a bold step that could actually make borrowing easier, faster, and more accessible to everyone, from the seasoned trader all the way to the newbie. Okay then, so let's break it down. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧, a branch of Ripple that's laser-focused on developers and blockchain innovations, has been teasing us with the idea of a native lending protocol for a while. But what does that really mean? Well, picture this, right? You want to borrow some crypto funds, but instead of putting up a kind of mountain of collateral like you would with regular loans, you can borrow a fixed amount with set terms and interest rates, all without the heavy security deposit. Now, that's the promise of under-collateralized loans on the XRP ledger, and it's a move that could flip the script on how decentralized finance, or DeFi, actually works. Now, let's get into the meat of it, right? For a long time, most crypto lending has required you to lock up more than you actually borrow. Now, this is meant to protect lenders in the case of the market going south, right? But let's face it, that method has its limits, right? Not everyone has a stash of crypto just lying around to kind of use as collateral. And even if they do, tying it up can be a huge pain if they need liquidity. Now, with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧's new approach, you might be able to get a kind of loan with far less hassle and risk of having your assets frozen. So imagine the freedom, right? You could use your crypto to invest, pay bills, or even just manage cash flow without, risking your entire portfolio. So the idea was first kind of announced by 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 back in April, right, when they officially confirmed their plans to create a decentralized finance protocol that's native to the XRP ledger. Now, the XRP ledger has been buzzing with interest lately, right? Not just from retail traders, but also from big institutional players. With more user accounts and liquidity flowing into the network, it's clear that something big is happening here. Now, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧's move, it isn't just about offering loans. It's about pushing the whole DeFi ecosystem forward. It's a step towards making blockchain not just a playground for tech enthusiasts, but a serious alternative to traditional financial systems. So let's take a closer look at what's under the, or let's take a look at, I should say, a closer look at the under-collateralized loans and what they really mean. Now, in a nutshell, these loans, they let you borrow funds without having to provide a hefty amount of collateral. Instead, they use a fixed term structure where you know exactly how much you owe and for how long. Now, that kind of fixed term setup is kind of a breath of fresh air compared to the, unpredictable nature of other crypto loans. Now, for the average person, knowing exactly when you're going to pay back your loan and how much interest you'll owe can obviously remove a lot of stress and uncertainty when it comes to borrowing money. But here's the catch. While the idea it sounds amazing, it's not without its challenges, right? For one, lending without massive collateral might seem risky to traditional financial institutions, right? They're used to having that kind of security net in place. And then there's the matter of trust. How can you be sure that the system won't be gamed or exploited? Now, 𝗕𝗲𝗪𝗂𝗂 and her team are well aware of these challenges, which is why that they're kind of taking a very careful, measured approach to rolling out this new product. Now, they're not just throwing caution to the wind, they're working hard to build a system that's secure, efficient, and genuinely useful for both lenders and borrowers. Now, let's get a bit technical, right? But I promise I will keep it simple. Right? The new protocol is designed to run entirely on the XRP ledger, which makes the XRP ledger special is its kind of speed and its efficiency. Right? Unlike other blockchains that can kind of get bogged down with traffic and high fees, well, the XRP ledger is built to handle a lot of transactions quickly. Now, this is key when you're dealing with loans that might need to be processed rapidly. Plus, With RippleX's background and expertise, they're not just kind of reinventing the wheel here. They're actually taking what already works on the XRP ledger and adding a new twist to it with DeFi lending. So, here's where things get even more interesting. Right, Ripple has long been on a mission to bring traditional finance, or TradeFi, onto the blockchain. Now, they're kind of already making major strides in the areas like cross-border payments, digital asset custody, and stablecoin infrastructure. Now, with this new lending protocol, well, they're set to complete what they call the kind of trifecta of blockchain services: payments, trading, and credit. So think about it, right? If you can pay, trade, and borrow all on the same system, well, you're not looking for a platform that could you are looking at a platform, I should say, that could rival, the convenience and functionality of, well, conventional banks. And for people who've kind of been locked out of traditional banking services, well, that is a game changer. But as with any kind of major innovation, this new system isn't going to be without its hiccups. One of the biggest hurdles, that RippleX is facing here is building trust with users who are used to the old, more secure methods of collateralized lending. So you see, when you kind of lend money in the traditional world, banks are very cautious, right? They want to make sure that every dollar that they lend is backed by something, right? Moving to an under-collateralized system means relying more on the trustworthiness of the network and the underlying technology. It's kind of like switching from a well-worn, kind of trusted car to a brand new model that promises better fuel efficiency, but still needs to improve itself on the road, or at least prove itself, I should say. Now, another challenge is the whole idea of decentralization. Right? One of the biggest selling points of blockchain technology is that it removes middlemen, right? Now, in traditional lending, banks and other financial institutions, they act as the middleman. But with a decentralized system like the one that RippleX is developing, well, lenders and borrowers deal directly with each other. That can lower costs and speed up transactions, but it can also kind of mean that the responsibility for security and trust, it shifts from a centralized authority to the individual participants. It's kind of a double-edged sword that requires a lot of careful planning and robust safeguards to make sure that everyone's on the same page. Now, let's dig into what this could mean for the average crypto user. Right, imagine that you're an entrepreneur with a great idea, but you don't have the cash to get things rolling. Well, the old world of kind of loans, you'd probably need to get a mortgage or something that you own, or show a mountain of assets as collateral, right? Now, with RippleX's new protocol, well, you might be able to secure a loan quickly and easily without putting up everything that you've got. Now, that could mean the difference between launching a groundbreaking project and watching your dream fade away because of the funding issues. Now, it's not just about convenience here. It's also about opening the doors that were previously locked. So for investors and liquidity providers, this new system offers another way to earn money. Instead of just holding onto your crypto and hoping that it goes up in value, you could actually deposit your assets into the lending pool and earn interest. It's a win-win situation, right? Borrowers get the funds that they need, and lenders get a steady return on their investment. Now, this kind of peer-to-peer lending is one of the kind of cornerstones of the DeFi movement. And RippleX's protocol, and it could actually be the catalyst that brings it into the mainstream. Now, there's also a bit of a ripple effect, pun intended, in how all of this new lending protocol fits into Ripple's kind of broader vision. Now, by introducing a credit system that's native to the XRP ledger, RippleX is not only boosting the utility of the blockchain, but is also strengthening its position as a viable alternative to traditional financial systems. Now, over time, this could lead to more kind of developers jumping on board, more users signing up, and ultimately a more vibrant, robust ecosystem that benefits everyone involved. Of course, it's important to note that with any new technology, there's always kind of a period of adjustment, right? Early adopters, they might face a few bumps along the road as the system kind of gets fine-tuned and optimized. But that's how progress happens, right? Just think about the early days of the internet, or even the kind of first smartphones, right? There were challenges and setbacks, and they kind of paved the way for the kind of incredible innovations that we enjoy today. Now, RippleX's approach to under-collateralized loans is no different, right? They're paving a new path, and while there may be some initial kind of turbulence, the potential rewards are quite enormous. Now, one key aspect that stands out in all of this is the emphasis on trust and transparency. Now, 𝗕𝗪𝗀𝗃𝗪 has been very clear about the team's commitment to building a secure and reliable system. The fact that they're kind of rolling out a product on a well-known and well-established blockchain like the XRP ledger, it gives kind of a lot of weight to their plans. The XRP ledger has already proven itself with fast transaction times and low fees, which are critical components for any lending platform. Now, if you can trust that the transactions will go through quickly and safely, well, you're in a lot more, or at least you are kind of a lot more likely to kind of take a leap and try something new, right? Now, let's talk about the kind of broader implications here. Right, RippleX is kind of the move into this kind of lending protocol. It isn't happening in complete isolation, right? The world of DeFi is evolving rapidly, and innovations like under-collateralized loans could inspire similar projects across the blockchain network to kind of follow suit. Now, this might soon actually see a wave of new financial products that kind of break away from the old model of high collateral requirements, opening up a whole new market for borrowers and lenders, right? And if this trend does indeed take off, well, it could actually lead to increased competition among blockchain platforms, which in turn might drive further improvements in the speed, security, and of course, most importantly, the user experience. Now, for those of you who might be a little bit skeptical, it's completely normal to have questions here, right? So how secure is this system? What happens if the market takes a downturn? How do they plan to manage defaults? Well, these are all valid concerns, right? And RippleX's team is aware of these potential issues and is working on comprehensive risk management strategies. They're likely to introduce, or at least include, things like smart contract audits, insurance funds and dynamic interest rate adjustments to help mitigate against the risk. Now, in other words, they're not just kind of hoping that everything is going to work, they're actually planning for every possible scenario. So the excitement, it doesn't stop just at lending and borrowing, right? RippleX is also buzzing about the kind of Ethereum virtual machine compatibility on the XRP ledger. Now, this means that developers can experiment with a range of functionalities and even build decentralized applications in ways that, were never really possible before on the main network. Now, it's kind of like getting the best of both worlds, right? The speed and efficiency of the XRP ledger combined with the flexibility and programmability that developers have come to expect from Ethereum. Now, this blend of technologies could spur even more innovation, making the XRP ledger an even more attractive platform for future projects. So what's really fascinating here is how RippleX is positioning itself at the kind of crossroads of traditional finance and modern blockchain technology. On one hand, you have a system that's designed to replicate and improve upon conventional financial products like loans. And on the other hand, well, you're tapping into the decentralized, transparent, and borderless nature of blockchain technology. It's a kind of a blend that could actually very well redefine what it means to do finance in the 21st century. And while there are plenty of hurdles to overcome, the fact that someone as kind of experienced as 𝗕𝗪𝗀𝗃𝗪 is at the helm gives a kind of lot of confidence that the project is in, well, good hands. Now, there's an interesting anecdote that really kind of brings home the potential impact of this innovation. Imagine a small business owner in a developing country who has a brilliant idea but no access to traditional bank loans. With RippleX's new protocol, they could secure the funding that they need without the usual red tape or ridiculous interest rates. It's not just about making money here, it's actually about creating opportunities and leveling the playing field for people who have been shut out of the financial system for far too long. Now, we've seen in the past how the integration of blockchain into traditional finance systems has often been met with skepticism. But as more people begin to understand and experience the benefits firsthand, like lower fees, faster transaction times, and increased accessibility, well, the tide is turning. Now, RippleX's effort to introduce under-collateralized loans could very well be the spark that ignites a broader movement towards a more inclusive financial future. It's about breaking down barriers and giving power back to the people. Now, As we kind of wrap up this deep dive into RippleX's latest announcement, it's clear that what's coming isn't just a small tweak to existing systems. It's a whole new way of thinking about finance on the blockchain. From the promise of easier access to credit to the potential for a more dynamic and inclusive DeFi ecosystem, the stakes are high and the opportunities are vast. RippleX isn't just adding another product to its lineup. It's actually setting the stage for a revolution in how we think about borrowing and lending in a digital age. So, what should you take away from all of this? Well, first, you want to keep an eye on the XRP ledger, right? With its growing popularity and increased liquidity, it's fast becoming one of the most promising platforms for blockchain innovation. Second, pay attention to RippleX developments, right? Their approach to under-collateralized loans could pave the way for many more innovations in the DeFi space, and being kind of an early adopter might actually give you a significant edge. Finally, think about how this shift could affect your own financial strategies. Whether you're looking to borrow, invest, or simply explore new technologies, the future of finance is evolving right before our eyes. So, in a nutshell, RippleX is on the verge of launching a system that could make borrowing simpler and more accessible while giving lenders new ways to earn. This isn't just about crypto for crypto's sake. It's about creating real-world solutions that address long-standing issues in both traditional and digital finance. And as always, when big changes are on the horizon, there are both exciting opportunities and challenges to be navigated. The journey may have its ups and its downs, but if history is any guide, this kind of innovation is what propels us into a brighter, more connected future. If you found this update useful and informative, guys, make sure to smash that like button. The more likes that we get, the further that YouTube pushes the content, and it spreads the word far and wide about XRP. So let's get those likes nice and high. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with the latest news and technical analysis, not just on XRP, but on a whole host of altcoins, make sure to tap that subscribe button just down below. Now, did you know that if you held over 10,000 XRP, you would actually be in the top 5% of all XRP holders? To find out more about this, you want to check out that video right there.